Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the e-commerce leader series, the podcast dedicated to helping founders and senior leaders navigate the future of online retail with AI. I'm your co-host, Bryan Kinghorn, head of growth at Luca, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Eric Bidinger, CEO at Luca. How are you doing, Eric?
Very good, Bryan. How are you?
Good, thank you. And most importantly, we're joined today by Roxanne Sabbe, co-founder and CEO at Colorush, a leader in the sustainable fashion industry. So Roxanne, thank you so much for being here with us today. Before we dive into the main topic of conversation for the podcast, would you be able to give our listeners a brief introduction to you and Colorush and what you do?
Sure, yeah. First of all, thank you for having me. Always happy to share my story, our story. So I'm Roxanne, as you said, CEO and co-founder of Colorush, a sustainable Belgian cashmere women's brand. And we started the journey with Colorush, me and my business partner, Jill, already 6 years ago, actually, 2020. My business partner, she came up with the idea of starting a brand in a natural, sustainable yarn that's that's long lasting when the quality is good, that's against fast fashion, that has a purpose, and that can make the world happier again. It was literally during COVID that she started the brand, which is very, I think, ambitious. Back at that time, I was still working at Procter & Gamble. I started my career there in different functions. I've done sales, I was a data analyst, I've done a finance role, I was a shopper behavior specialist. So I've seen the whole, I think, 360 world of I think, a lot of shopper insights and CPG products. And I think that the combination of her being a very creative person that has a vision when it comes to yarns and style and branding, together with me that has a little bit more, let's say, eye on business and details and, let's say, numbers as well. I really thrive on numbers. I think the combination of the two makes us a very good team. And so we have been friends for more than 20 years, actually. And it's not always the easiest choice to go to one of your best friends to start this journey together, because there's always risks involved. And we've had many examples in our lives of our family members where it didn't go well. So it was a very deliberate choice, and we had many conversations about it, if we would do it or not. And 6 years later, we're still going strong, and I think our friendship has only gotten better. So basically what we do is we, from end to tail, we design collections mainly in cashmere, but also in cashmere blends. So merino cashmere, cotton silk cashmere, also, many blends, but with a main focus on cashmere. So we have a long-term relationship with our factory that is located in Inner Mongolia. We visit as well every year. We're going back in May again. So, and our factory, they have their own farm with their own goats, also already for more than 20 years. So we know exactly where the hair comes from. We've seen the process, how the goats are treated, how the whole process, how the respect for the animal, the respect for their people, where it starts up until the moment that we receive the garment. We've also had, you grow to have a lot of respect for this process, because it takes 3 months to create a cashmere sweater, which is something that once you understand that, it really grows your respect for sustainable fashion way more than fast fashion. And that was important for us. That's something we stand behind. We really believe in very strong, colorful, nice collections, but only in the right way. We don't want to deliver something that a customer wants tomorrow. No, it's on our terms, and it's working really well. We've our biggest market is the United States already since year one. We've been picked up there by really strong agents. The rest of the world followed, and we are going towards 5 million turnover this year. So I think we're growing really, really good, and it's an exciting journey. Of course, it's with ups and downs like everyone else. We get a lot of hits, especially if you know that we are producing in Inner Mongolia, which is part officially of China, and we are selling in the United States. One plus, I don't think I need to draw the picture. What kind of hits we've received this year there. But yeah, it's a fun journey. It's you learn so much by doing it and by trying and finding solutions. Being with your back against the wall makes it very interesting.
And amazing. Well, obviously there's lots to unpack within that, and thanks very much for sharing your story. I suppose you've been on a journey from zero in 2020, did you say, now to
Correct.
5 million revenue, which is incredible. So I suppose throughout that journey, and you've alluded to it, there's going to be lots of highs. You've obviously had lots of success, but I think some of the learnings and some of the best learnings that we can get is in some of those challenges that you've experienced
Always.
as a founder. So I suppose can you talk to that a bit more? Like, what sort of operational bottlenecks have you encountered, throughout that journey? What have some of those looked like, and then how have you resolved them? And has AI played a part in helping you with some of those bottlenecks as well?
Yeah. Very good question. I think operational, one of our biggest challenges from the beginning was that we were playing with the world, which means that every single country has its own rules and its own way of working, meaning you're exporting to different parts of the world. You have different tariffs, you have different entry systems, you have compliances. So I think that was in the beginning one of our biggest challenges to face, and to be ready to grow in a healthy basis. You need to have a healthy structure. So from the beginning, I've focused a lot on setting up the basis, and I think that one I'm glad I did it in the beginning, because it gives you a very secure feeling that once you start growing, you can carry that weight. So that one, I don't think that has helped me yet, that AI has helped me, because I'm speaking of, I set up the structure in 2020 and 2021. So at that moment in time, I personally was not yet using AI. I think when it comes to other parts where it has helped me of operational bottlenecks over the last few years is, in all honesty, I think everyone has a chatbot where you can ask questions and get very quick answers without using experts in every single country. That helps me. When it comes to tariffs, for example, I very quickly go to my chatbot to ask what he already knows and what impact it has for me in that specific country. When there's a new customer that comes knocking on my door, I recently had a new customer in South Africa, I can in 5 minutes know what my bottom line net profit is going to be if I'm going to deliver that customer, because I in one question have the whole breakdown of my costs to that specific region in the world. Whereas before, I needed to go to an expert, I needed to wait for an answer on the email. It took me 2 days to get an answer, and that customer might have lost interest. So I think in terms of speed to sale, it has tremendously improved my life on that front. Yeah.
And is that representative, Roxanne, of that speed to sale going from 2 days to 5 minutes? Is that representative across all geographies for you?
So far, it has. Yes. I have a feeling that up until now, I really get information on a worldwide basis through my chatbot. Yes, obviously, I do double check still because I am a bit skeptic. So I do have my expert still that will reply, or I give him a quick call. But up until now, 9 out of 10 on maybe a few text differences, because there's different states, for example, it has been very accurate. So
incredible, right? What a massive unlock it is.
Definitely. It is. It definitely is. Yes. And then I think for other, well, if I would talk about how I use AI more, it would be more in not operational bottlenecks, but cost efficiencies. I don't know if you want me to talk about it now or
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, carry on. Yeah, any way that you're helping it, you're using AI to help running your business, whatever that looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you probably already know, there are some really strong tools out there that are getting better and better in image creating today. And one of the big costs that we have as a fashion brand are photo shoots, models, content creation, name it. It's a very big bucket of my P&L. And of course, it's a journey that we're really trying to find a sweet balance, because you want to stay authentic as a brand. You don't want everything to be fake and to be AI. But the reality is that where we previously, for very simple example, previously when a collection came in and we had a studio shoot, we also had flat lay shoots. Basically, that means you lay your product on a table or a white background and you take a flat lay shot. So you have both animal and flat. This was a cost that I can now, I just replace it completely with an AI tool, and it gives me like the perfect accurate flat lay shots of my garment. So that's a cost I have completely just ruled out because of AI. In terms of model shots, we are using models still and photo shoots, but we are testing with model twins, for example, where you can buy a model twin that looks alike. And then our existing model has given her rights. So she also still earns some money on it, but of course, less than if she would be in this studio every day. That's something that we are now, we are testing and seeing how far we want to go in that. But just that's kind of an example of an area that we're really trying to figure out how we can have more cost efficiencies.
Yeah, that's fascinating, and hopefully we can go through more examples like this. I think what's fascinating is kind of you trying to thread the needle between this authenticity, which you're right, everyone wants, and everyone is craving for, increasingly so because of AI
Correct.
stuff. But at the same time, I mean, the like you said, the gains in it, it's not only cost, it's just efficiency, it's mental bandwidth, it's speed, it's everything else.
100%.
And it's the feedback loop where you can
100%.
repeat and trial and error, like on such a fast feedback loop. I mean, that's, it's hard to, I don't know, I'd be interested to hear your view. I mean, it's hard to see how we know the direction of travel. It's hard to see how we don't end up there in 5 years when it's kind of, but at the same time you want, so how do you think about keeping this authenticity? Like, because 5 years from now, I guess you understand, realize already, or subconsciously kind of fear that it's kind of it's all gonna be done.
It's a very difficult question. I think how we look at our brand is we really question ourselves. What do we like personally? We put ourselves in the shoes of a shopper. We also buy other brands, right? So are we attracted by the perfect image that we know is not real and the perfect shots, or do we prefer a mom that is doing her groceries and she looks super cool in her jeans and she's carrying her kid in one hand and she just dropped something out of, that's kind of, the way that we try to look at it. Like, what would we personally, because we identify ourselves as our target group, because obviously that's where we're producing it and we're building this. But I think trying to put your shoes in the shopper and also, trying to stay true to your own values, I think, as well. Like, for us, one of our main values is transparency. So we try to show now as well, we're going in May to the factory. We have a videographer and we want to make a documentary about the whole chain. What we see, we want to show people. We want to show the goats. We want to show the workers in the factory. We really want to show things that people don't see when they're buying a garment. So then we ask ourselves, if we're going to now fake all our images, isn't that against one of our key value, even if it makes our lives easier and it becomes cheaper? I think that's what we really keep in top of mind as well when we're going through this journey. And I think it's the way to do it for us. I'm not saying everyone needs to do it that way, but that feels best for us, and it's just staying true to what you're speaking and what you're standing for, I think.
It's a tough one.
It is.
And you started with we're talking about just cost efficiency. So the first one was image creation. Is there any other area within the business where you're thinking about, or you already deploying AI for cost efficiency?
It's more, well, indirectly, it's a cost efficiency because it will eventually limit the hours of my employees. But I am looking into more automizations. in the ERP systems. So where you now have 3 or 4 ERP systems that are all linked together and talking together, I am very interested in finding a solution where I do not need all 4 anymore, that I have an AI agent that literally transforms my order from the customer, tells it to my warehouse, makes sure that the picking is ready for the people in the warehouse, and maybe even sends a tracking label to the customer. That's something for me, I really hope one day will be there. And so it will, actually, yes, it will be a cost saving because all my ERP systems cost a lot of money. But the people that are operating the ERP systems, they will have more time on hand to or do something else, or I might be able to do the same job with one person less at one day.
And do you think like if the end game is this, it's just you being able to direct a system to automate an entire chain of various events. The end game in your head is it the same as the image creation? I mean, i.e. the ability to just press a button and get it done, like it's whatever is taking you today, X number of hours, X number of days or man hours, or woman hours, sorry, I should say person hours,
Yeah.
right, to say nowadays. Is it how you think about it? Is it also, again, mental bandwidth, kind of like just press a button and forget about it? And
yeah, I think it's using your resources in the best way possible to optimize your business. I think the hours that go to processes that can be optimized, those hours, if I can spend them more by going to potential new clients, going see more agents in the world, attending more trade shows, having more calls with, I don't know, even visiting my own stores. In Belgium, I have 40 multi-brand stores that carry us. I'm not able to go there because of the workload. Imagine if I had the time to visit them every single week and come and say hi and say, how is the brand going? Do you like it? Oh, do you want to swap? Is it not working well? Well, I'll personally swap it for you. I mean, that's very extreme. I'll probably never do that myself, but even though I would love to, I love being with people. But I think it's optimizing your time where it really matters. Yeah, that's it.
no,
This is such a cool juxtaposition, right? Because we're talking about this a lot as well, about how people now want to be brought back in time. They want things that are more analog because we are on our screens all the time. So it's actually, I love what you just said there, that you can use AI to help you streamline your processes, which then allows you to spend more time with people. So it's
Exactly.
like, it's not like we don't want to get rid of personal connections or relationships. We actually,
to the contrary,
use AI to help streamline everything.
Exactly.
So that you can physically be more present with others. So that's awesome to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly that. I feel that I spend way too many hours behind my computer answering emails and indeed doing processing and all these things, whilst I preferably would be with my people or even spend more time with the goats.
Yeah, and expanding on that as well, Roxanne. So, as you've got a fashion brand, I know that you'll be on Shopify or an equivalent. You'll be, I would assume, potentially in Meta with advertising, potentially Google with advertising, or any sort of equivalent. I'd imagine you'll have like a accounting software like a QuickBooks or Xero or whatever. How do you manage the sync between all that different data that you've got all over the place? How do you sort of streamline that and use it to help you understand your business a bit better?
In the beginning, when selecting all of these programs, building very strong integrations, which have cost me a lot of time and a lot of money because I could not do everything on my own. I'm not an IT specialist, but I have hired people to do that for me. So I have very good integrated systems like a Exact Online, like a Shopify, like a It's Perfect. Like, so all these ERP systems, they are all linked and integrated with each other. So it is already as streamlined as possible, but I believe it can be even better with AI.
Yeah, no, absolutely. By the way, just going back on what you were saying earlier about freeing up your time to the workflows that have the highest leverage in what you're doing. In an imaginary world, like if indeed you had that system in place that would automate everything that can be automated, that frees up the time for people like you and maybe members of your team to actually go out and be with clients or be more in Mongolia. Like, so what does that mean in terms of numbers? Like, do you think that you can double the business, triple the business? Just get a quantifiable sense of the end result here.
I think where we are now, it could easily double. Yes. I think that if I would have taken all the hours spent behind all these tools and integrating and everything that I could have automated, but back then not yet, now yes. I think we could have doubled, yes. Because also then I would have not only me doing it, but like you say, I could have someone that's now working on those tools, doing the other side of the world, and visiting those stores. So yeah, I think we could have already doubled by now.
Interesting. And what do you think stands? Sorry, Bryan, just one last question for me. What do you think stands between the T0 where you are today with those disparate systems and actually that AI agent that does the work?
In all honesty, today I am a little bit overwhelmed. I have the feeling that there's so much out there now, and I read a lot of newsletters on AI tools and on new offers from all these big players. And I honestly, one day I think I'm gonna do it with this one. I'm gonna build an agent in this tool. And then 2 days later, I read a company that has built something with another tool that made their lives easier. And then I'm like, maybe I didn't choose the right tool. Maybe I should change my platform and subscribe with. And I think that I need to get over, and I need to just try it with one and stick to one. And maybe also have someone support me, because I'm not an expert yet. And it's also not my main job. But I think for the moment now is getting over that feeling of being overwhelmed and really just starting and continuing until we get there, because I'm sure it's feasible.
You've mentioned the team and you're overwhelmed. What does the team look like? And has there been any reluctance to use AI tools within the team? Like, what is the adoption level would you think within your current team?
So I'm very lucky to have a very young team. So all my team members, so I have an operations manager, finance manager, sales manager, and then an admin support. They are all, and then a design team. But I'll maybe first start with my back office more than the design team. They're all young and ambitious, hardworking profiles that would love to have automation and love to work with AI, but their problem is the workload, which is a chicken and egg situation. And they know that, and I tell them a lot, but it's a matter of prioritizing. It means that you will need to stop doing what you're doing for at least a few hours a day during a couple of days, during a couple of weeks, to build something and to adapt and to make sure that it works. And that idea of your work being then put on pause and build up, because of course you have so many hours in a day, that's something that's holding the team. And also, to be very honest and transparency, myself as well. And I think that's the main reason why I think that we're not where we should be, because of the classic workload situation. And where do I need to find the time to do it, honestly? But they would love to adapt.
At least you've got that willingness there anyway. They're keen to
Definitely
learn, to expand their knowledge, which is important. So I think you're onto a winner, the fact they are in that position. So that's really good for you as the business owner. And I suppose, like, you've spoken about how things can help you, like, what you would like, and how AI could help you run your business even better. And you've sort of spoken about that sort of 3 to 5 year journey. What does the future hold for Colorush and yourself? Where do you see the business being within the next 3 to 5 years? and how does AI potentially play a part in that?
Well, to summarize what I think said before, I think by having those automations of where we would free up a lot of hours, a lot of time from my team, I think that would be hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years be one of our main goals and priorities. So I think in terms of that and continuing to learn as well. So not only be happy when the tool is there and the automation is there, I think continuously learning about what's out there without being overwhelmed, but healthy challenged, but maybe we can do it even better or implement something else that we didn't think before that can be tagged along into this automation. I think that is one. And then two, be able to focus even more on expansion, put more time in our e-commerce. In all transparency, our wholesale business has been going so hard. It's just too difficult sometimes to keep track of, which is very positive or happy, but that takes away a lot of time to focus on our e-commerce, which it's a very challenging product because it's a luxury product, so it's not a cheap product, and people that buy cashmere, they want to feel and they can feel the difference between quality and not quality, and that's why it makes it very challenging for them to buy something online. We have a very high recurring revenue of online shoppers, which is very positive because that means that they approve the quality, but the penetration is difficult to get in new customers. And I think then I could free up and my team could free up way more time to really deep dive into that, find a way to get the shoppers to feel your cashmere quality in a virtual world. That's one of my biggest dreams in my next journey.
No, that's fascinating. You're not, so just so that you know, and maybe that'll give you some comfort, you're not the only e-commerce leader we've spoken to that faces the same issue of a customer experience that actually requires a bit more physical touch points than just an online, a pure online experience. But just bouncing off this and maybe taking the conversation in a slightly different direction, what do you think of, a big buzzword that's appeared 2-3 months ago and that people are talking increasingly more often about is agentic shopping. So it's this concept of an online shopper now not going into Google and typing, cashmere sweaters or seeing one of your Instagram ads and clicking on the thing, but instead just going into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want a sustainable, I'm very, I need sustainable clothing, I need a sustainable brand. Tell me who I should buy from. Have you given any thoughts about like how to address what is also really a secular trend? Like this is a direction of travel. People are more and more going to interact with chatbots that way.
Yeah, we are looking into that actually as we speak, because we have realized that that's coming our way, and even I think a shop in ChatGPT is also something that's in the pipeline. We are very aware of that. We are in investigating how we can improve our awareness in the bots, but we're now in the research phase. We have not yet tried anything, but we are looking into that. Yeah.
Awesome. And we've actually got some papers that we can send you on that as well, Roxanne, that just explains a bit more, and potentially that can help shape that research that you've got as well.
Yeah, definitely, that would be nice.
We'll make those public to our listeners as well, obviously. So
just and just to bring the conversation back to us for a second, because we love to talk about ourselves. Just we've gone through this same process with Luca, and we managed in something like a month and a half, 2 months, getting on top of a ChatGPT search or Perplexity search or Gemini search. There's definitely, there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
It requires a bit of work, obviously, but what's interesting is that, SEO started 15, 17 years ago, and everyone was scrambling in the first years of SEO to be on top of a Google ranking. Now GEO is starting, so generative engine optimization is starting, and everyone, it's kind of like you are on the same level playing field as Louis Vuitton, right? Like they're figuring out just like you are, maybe a bit more resources, but if you are smart, there's no way why you shouldn't be able to beat them, right? On search, what people are saying, luxury cashmere, you should come out on top before them.
Well, Roxanne, I think we could literally speak to you all day. I think we could continue going for hours, and there'd be so much gold value in the conversation. But we will, I suppose, have to wrap up, conscious of everyone's time. But before we do, where can our listeners find you? Like, where can they hear from you personally as a founder, and where can they find the brand as well? Is that LinkedIn, Instagram? Like, tell us where people can find you, basically.
Yeah, I think if I speak for the brand, we are very approachable on Instagram. We still answer all our messages ourselves as founders. So you can definitely find us on Instagram and pop us a message there. Me personally, LinkedIn is a good way to reach out to me. Yeah, that would be good.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much, Roxanne, for being on the E-commerce Leader Series podcast. And we will talk to you all again soon.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Roxanne. Thanks, Bryan.